Welcome everyone to our sacred Mountain Sangha. Sunday session. What good fortune we have to even have the notion that we're all sitting, breathing, resting in sacred ground. That there is that dimension that's always here and now, which is universal, which we share, which is at the root of the very sensations that we're feeling. And let me just look at you for a moment. Welcome everyone. Taking some time, whatever time of day, afternoon or evening it is, to remember what is essential, what is a source of strength and clarity, what can help us reveal what there is to do, what needs to be done. So thank you for taking the time to come and be with me and be with one another, our Sangha. So let's begin by honoring what is worthy of honor. The Buddha talked about the technology, the energetics of remembering. When we remember and have reverence for, reverence, what is that? That is, which is recognizing there's something significant here. It's a humble gesture of heart, reverence. It's so precious, and yet it's unfortunately very too rare to be manifested. Reverence is an honoring and a withholding judgment, withholding, contracting into a view and opinion. Reverence is an open, deep listening, and open to the preciousness. The Buddha taught that this very moment, always the true sacred nature, the true essential nature, the true liberating nature is always here and now. Reverence, honoring this moment, can allow us to be open to what is actually manifesting. So let's begin by honoring what is worthy of honor, the triple jewel. The Buddha said that generates blessing, generates energy, which is auspicious, leads to what is wished for. So at the top of, in our chanting, top of page 3, let's honor the Buddha, the Namo Tassa. And then page 4, the qualities of the triple jewel. Later in my talk, I'll be talking about the qualities of the Buddha, how important, significant it is, auspicious it is to contemplate them. But page 4, recollecting the qualities of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Then on page 8, to emanate the 4 boundless qualities: kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. Then the Great Compassion Mantra, evoking the power of Kuan Yin on page 12, and finishing with Kuan Yin's name, making sounds to celebrate our good fortune, to celebrate the preciousness of the awakened one, the liberating teachings, the community of good, dedicated beings that are such a resource for helping us not just fall into fear and despair and collapse. Honoring what is worthy of honor for the welfare of all beings. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Kittisaro bhagava arahang samma sambuddhassa. Vichachalana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro pulisadhamma sarati sattha deva manusanang buddho bhagava tisavakato bhagavata dhammo santitiko akaliko ehipasiko o panayiko pachatang vetita bovin yuhi tisupatipano bhagavato savaka sangho ujupatipano bhagavato savaka sangho yayapatipano bhagavato savaka Sam michi patipano bhagavato savaka sangho yatitang chattari pulisa yuganeya tapulisa pugala esa bhagavato savaka sangho ahunayo pahunayo dakinayo anjali karaniyo tarang punya ketang loka sati. Savoring the resonance. After sounding these sacred words, honoring these qualities of awakening, liberation, that which leads to peace, wholesomeness, blamelessness. And now emanating, pervading all directions with the boundless qualities of kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, the divine abidings on page 8. Allowing this blessing, the goodness of our life, having touched into these precious sources of inspiration, sharing them with all beings. Now let us make the four boundless qualities shine forth. I will abide, pervading 1/4 with a heart imbued with loving kindness. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth, so above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself. I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with loving kindness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4 with a heart imbued with compassion. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth, so above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself. I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with compassion, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4 with a heart imbued with gladness. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth, so above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself. I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with gladness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4 with a heart imbued with equanimity. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth, so above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself. I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a heart imbued with equanimity, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. Invoking Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, Avalokiteshvara, and the Great Compassion Mantra in these perilous, scary, challenging times. Anchoring ourselves, remembering, calling out, so that it becomes conscious, this rooting ourselves in the essence of awakening, that deep listening, as it manifests through Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, the one who listens at ease to the sounds of the world. As we chant and the mantra turns, entering the great center, allowing the mantra to turn with the efficacious, mysterious phrases of compassion, quelling disaster, calming, dousing, cooling fires of greed, hatred, and delusion, stopping harm, softening hearts that there can be a waking up out of the spell of hatefulness, remembering decency, goodness, kindness, generosity, chanting Kuan Yin's name and the Great Compassion Mantra, for our own welfare, for the welfare of each other, for the welfare of all beings, near and far, seen and unseen. Namo Dabe Quan Shu Yin Pu Sa Hana Hamo Dabe Quan Shu Yin Pu Sam Namo Dabe Quan Shu Yin Pu Sam Namahala Danandala Yaya Namo Aliyam Poludiri Shabalaya Putti Sato Payam Moha Sato Payam Nichayenan Sapan Lafaye Sodan Odashi Namo Shidili Toi Mangali Palujiri Shafalalan Topanamandala Jinjadili Moha Bando Sami Sampatata Chupang Sapasado namo pasado namo pache mofataro rajatana napalushi lujare jaladi chili moha Mola mola moshi moshi litayan julu julu jaman dulu dulu vaji ere moa vaji ere tal tal dili nisha fola ye jala jala mama Mudili ishi ishi shurno shurno wala shan fola shali fasha fasham fola shaya hulu hulu mola hulu hulu sola sola shili shili zulu zulu puti e put Pataya mirili anola ginger dili shining up ayamana sopaha sopaha moha chitoye sopaha chitoye ye sharpana ye sop Nola ginger sopaha mola nola sopaha chilu sangha muchaye sopa moha achitoye sopaha chachila hachitoye sopaha bodama jesitoye Jelaye sopa mopali jelaye sopa namahala tanantalaye namo aliye polu jeri shabalaye sopa nanchi chandu mandola batoye sopahan Namo Quan Shu Pusa Haina Mo Quan Shu Pusa Haina Mo Quan Shu Pusa Haina Mo Quan Shu Pusaina Mo Quan Shu Pusaina Mo Quan Shu Pusan honoring this moment. Attuning this Buddhic refuge in Buddha, deep listening, knowing, awareness, rooting that in this first foundation of mindfulness, the body, anchoring our attention on the available somatic experience, sitting here or whatever posture we're in, touching earth, that which is solid, as we welcome, honor this form. That solidity is pulsing. That sensation of the body touching ground, that hardness, pressure, connection with earth, our body, all that is around us is from Mother Earth, Mother Nature. This body, which is, as we open to its mystery, its breathing, may we receive that gift from the trees, taking a few, maybe 3 to 5, slow, mindful, appreciative in and out breaths. As we receive that gift, that sacred reciprocity, our life force is supported by, woven into our surroundings. Let's cherish the trees, Mother Earth, Mother Nature. Those long in-breaths, receiving the vitalizing principle of the prana, the vitality. Within the air we breathe, breathing out, softening, relaxing, so that life force can bless, permeate, suffuse all of our body. As we allow our breathing to find its own natural rhythm, giving the body permission to breathe long or short as it feels, so that it may feel well. So we do that, listening into that connection with ground and allowing whatever posture we're in, especially if we're sitting, allowing the body to align with earth. What's it like to lean one side, the other side, forward, backward, to find that place of alignment, so that this little body then is connected through gravity, that unseen pull, connected to the depth, the deep, stable power of ground, of earth. Each out-breath relaxing, sinking, aligning with that ground. And allowing a sacred word, Bhutto, which just means Buddha, the awakened one. Bud, as we breathe in, To as we breathe out. That word appears and dissolves like a bubble, Bhutto, but it reminds the heart to rest in, continue returning to that deep ground of listening, of knowing, of awareness. Spending a few minutes bathing in awareness, blessed by the sacred remembrance of the Buddha, returning everything to the knowing, to the listening, to the heart of awareness. Reflecting, this is how it is. The in and the out, the swelling and the subsiding. the mutually supportive interplay of beings with the environment, noticing every breath swells and subsides, every sound appears, vibrates, dissolves. Our thoughts of reflection, of happiness, of suffering, noticing just with our rootedness and presence that they're ephemeral, empty of solidity. These very sounds keep returning to the underlying luminous stillness, the spacious, sky-like knowingness of the heart. The relative stability of body, of form, body breathing helps us hone this listening, helps us relax and calm this body so that the mind can get more steady and its inherent ease and luminosity reveal itself. Just taking a couple of minutes to stretch, and I'll then give some Dhamma reflections. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. I'm grateful to have this opportunity to reflect on the way it is and to share that with this community, family, Sangha, at a time when it's so easy to get overwhelmed, to remember the uplifting, empowering, waking up jewel of Sangha, that there are fellow beings, trusting that there is an awakening possible, that there are fellow beings cherishing and wanting to make much of and remember our potentiality for generosity, for virtuous restraint of harmful impulse, for courage, for wise reflection, so that we can free ourselves from these toxic enchantments, spells of just callous selfishness, hatefulness, greed that's glorified. So thank you. I wanted to remember the Buddha today. Recently we celebrated the Vaisakha Puja, the month of Vesak. It was the month of May back at the time of the Buddha, and the full moon of May is in our Thai forest tradition, that Theravada tradition. We celebrated that day as the awakening of the Buddha. But also, to be very efficient, these Theravadas are very efficient. They also celebrated the birth and the parinibbana, the death of the Buddha, all on the same day. You think, wow. But our teacher, Ajahn Sumedho, used to always say, well, what's the most important thing that can happen between birth and death? What are we here to do? What would be most tragic if we don't work on this between being born and dying? Are we just here to get famous, get our way, blame somebody? Our teacher used to say the most precious, amazing thing that can happen between birth and death is to wake up and to cultivate these qualities that free us from greed, hatred, and delusion, these deep poisons of the mind, heart. So I wanted us to reflect a little. Once when the Buddha was talking to his disciples, he was talking to the monks, but he's talking to all of us, all the disciples. He said, there's one person who arises in the world for the welfare of the multitude, for the happiness of the multitude, out of compassion for the world, for the good welfare and happiness of devas, the heavenly beings, and humans. Who is that one person? It is the Tathagata, the thus come one, the Arahant, the perfectly enlightened one. This is that one person. we might think, oh, wow, God, the Buddha's really stuck up, telling them that he doesn't say me. The one person that arises in the world for the welfare of the multitude, the one that includes everyone, for the happiness of the multitude, out of compassion for the world, for the good welfare and happiness, not just of humans, but also the heavenly beings. Who is that one person? Tathagata. Tathagata, the first of the 10 epithets of the Buddha. Tata means such, gata, the coming and going. What in all the comings and goings is unmoving, unshaken? The Arahat, the worthy one, perfectly enlightened one. That is that one person. The Buddha is dispassionately talking about what is most precious. The Buddha spent countless eons, spans of time, motivated by this notion, this aspiration, little by little by little, this realization of the fully awakened one who's burned through, recognized the falseness, the illusion of all these separations generated by the architect, the great architect, this mind that's so full of its opinions, me and you and this and that this full awakening is aware of the undivided, unified, true suchness. And that rare Dharma doesn't do things for selfish purposes, doesn't do things to get ahead, or everything is for the welfare of the whole. And when the Buddha is talking, he's talking to all of us about our deep potential, this seed. Who would think that within a little acorn is the blueprint for the magnificent oak tree? Who would say, oh, it's all there? But the Buddha realized that we have, all of us within us, these wondrous dharmas. There's a practice of recollecting the Buddha when we, as a meditation, because when the heart, we get so pulled out into all the this and the that and all the complexities and challenges of our life. And to recollect the qualities of the Buddha taught help protect us against distress, dissatisfaction. Dinner generates faith and devotion and gives rise to joy. But he also talked about how it's a protection against fear. And in the Banner Sutta, the Banner Protection Sutra, when the Buddha was talking to his disciples, he just said, that if any fear or terror or hair standing on end should arise in you when you've gone to the forest or to the foot of a tree or to an empty house, or think of me thus. He's talking about when we align with the Buddha. that fear dissolves. No, I want to add to we're going into this, all of us, into this wilderness, this wild unknown of the challenges of our world, the attacks on our, here in the United States, on our democracy, the harms to, which is around the world, the threat of fascism, the harm that comes from leaders that are inflicting out of greed and hatred and delusion, cruelties, the loss of rights and process and respect, and the starvation, even the genocide of our dear family, fellow beings in Gaza, in so many places around the world, the fears about what might happen to us with all the instability and with how we're living on this planet, the impacts on the countless animals that get abused, harmed. It's easy to fall into overwhelm. And so the Buddha, in this banner protection, he's just saying, when fear arises, let's don't limit it just to when you go on meditation retreat or out into, we're in a wilderness right now of unknowns. But the Buddha said the antidote for this fear, he said, is to reflect. Such indeed is the Blessed One. And the way he reflected is what we chanted on page 4. So I want to go over that. He's talking about that when we reflect on the qualities of the Buddha, at first it might seem we're reflecting on qualities out there, because when we're afraid and overwhelmed, we at first feel like, oh, well, I don't have that. They have it. But as we reflect on these qualities, that stirs that dimension in our own being, because truly these qualities are rooted in this one heart. Itipiso, we chanted, Itipiso Bhagawa. That word oftentimes was used to refer to an epithet of the Buddha. It appears at the beginning of that chant on page 4 and at the end, the qualities of the Buddha. Blessed One, Bhagava, world-honored one, fortunate one, practicing. What motivated the Buddha to practice for countless eons, to cultivate deep generosity, deep virtuous restraint of all harmful impulses, deep patience with challenging situations, deep, tireless efforts to continue cultivating this path of awakening. So the Blessed One means have fulfilled all these meritorious qualities, and the Blessed One extends waves of blessings out into the world. So Bhagava, the Blessed One, when the Buddha would appear in a situation, then that blessed, that moment where there was doubt, understanding could emerge through the Buddha's presence, words, advice. Bhagava, it's important. Remember this quality, contemplate. As we deepen in our alignment with awareness, we're the essence, the maturing of Bhagava is happening in our own hearts. When we don't take refuge in Buddha, don't take refuge in awareness, deep listening, then when worry comes and fear comes, we just get swept away by that. when there's a presence, rootedness and awareness, rootedness and awareness of the way things are, this Dharma that the Buddha taught us to reflect on. Then we see the fear, the worry, the discouragement for what it is, a feeling tone, a mood, a presence, a dissolving. The Blessed One transforms. Arahang, Arahang, second quality, the worthy one, worthy of offerings. Some of Bhikkhu Bodhi's definitions of that word is a purified one, liberated one. So the Arahat, well, definition of the Arahat is the poisons of greed, hatred, and delusion have been seen through. They might manifest, having to get rid of, but they're recognized. They become, rather than me, they become just patterns, sankharas, dharmas. So rather than being turned by the conditions turn. That's the purified one, the Arahat. Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuto. Samma means full. Sambuto. Buto, awaken. Sambuto, through his own efforts. All of us, as we're practicing, little by little, when we start to contemplate the nature of what we're attached to and start letting go and start seeing all that's changing, we begin to open the heart to the underlying deathless Dharma. All of us, as our practice ripens, this will more and more happen. And then we touch into peace, touch into that which is not coming and going. That's an awakening. And the Buddha's awakened disciples were more unshakably rooted in that. But they're all the different disciples, like the Buddha said, wherever you taste the ocean, it's salty. Whatever form we're in, when we let go of grasping, there's one taste, the taste of peace, the taste of freedom. But that's not the end of the story. Yes, it's the end of suffering. But the Sammasambuddha, not only did the Buddha know how to let go, but he didn't stop there, because there's a tendency to make a subtle distinction between peace and, oh, that's all the trouble. No, thank you. And then we retreat to peace, which is fair enough, because it's rejuvenating. But the Buddha, out of compassion, that's why the one that's for the benefit of the multitude, out of compassion, he realized, whoa, this is all part of my true substance. All of these fellow beings are all part of this one ground, one undivided true nature. Has balanced form and emptiness. The Sammasambuddha has totally penetrated through all the subtle distinctions. The unexcelled awakening. What an incredible blessing, the Sammasambuddha. As Bhikkhu Bodhi defines that word, he says, the perfectly enlightened one has removed all obstacles to knowledge. So not only does an awakened one knows peace, but when there's fully awakened, then there's no, whatever the mind turns to, one sees, whether near, far. That's why the Buddha could know countless past lives, could know the karmic circumstances of all the beings, everyone. The obstacles to knowledge have been removed. The fully awakened one knows the principles, all the principles of moral and spiritual development. That was Bhikkhu Bodhi's definition, one of the definitions of that word, Sammasambuddha. Vijacharana sampanno. So as we're contemplating what we're taking refuge in, when we, little by little, when we memorize this chant, little by little, just keep reflecting on each of these words. Bhagava, Arahant, Samma Sambuddho, is so pregnant with meaning, with blessing that helps us touch into something that's true, that is deep essence, is at the heart of our own here and now awareness. That this living, timeless, omniscient reality of the awakened one, that we connect with it when we allow our heart to incline, to remember. The Buddha taught that your fear will, and the terror and the hair raising on the end will dissolve as one remembers. Vijja charana sampano. The next quality is, sometimes the Buddha is known as the one of dual perfection. Vijja is the wisdom, deep wisdom. Charana means activity. So the walk and the talk, these are the two wings of awakening. Not only deep understanding and omniscient knowledge, but then there's no divide, no separation between them. The manifestation, the actions. The action is compassionate. Everything the Buddha says and does, because the separate sense of self has been seen through. Everything. This is possible. The Buddha not only says possible, this is our destiny. Might be hard to be open to, but I encourage us to be open to this mystery. The Buddha taught in the Lotus Sutra that even that first nod of the head to the Buddha, we start setting in motion the great return. That little by little by little by little, we're returning to the root so that this inevitability can eventually flower through us, this full awakening, which is all of our destiny. And the Buddha said, once the awakened one is in the world, every gesture, vijja charana, sampano means endowed with this perfect balance, the two wings of awakening, wisdom and compassion. Sugato, that's a beautiful word. Sugato. Gata means coming and going. Su, just so we don't get confused, su means happy, peaceful, fulfilled. Sometimes we get this notion, oh, this whole path is all about the obliteration of, and we're just going to some peaceful wasteland. No, Sugato is fortunate, gone to the blissful state of Nibbana, gone by the good way. Su means good, going good, the good way, the Eightfold Path, the way of generosity, virtuous restraint, wise reflection, the way of deep meditation and wisdom's liberation. Sugato. When we remember that word for a moment, Sugato, and we have a moment of being the Sugato, being well. Oh, but my back hurts. Can we be well with the back hurt? Can we be the Sugato? But we don't know what's going to happen. Yes, we don't know. But we take refuge in the Sugato. We take refuge in this Dharma. Can we relax for a moment with not knowing? Loka vidu, knower of the worlds. Loka means world. Vidu means seer, knower of the worlds. The Buddha knows all the realms of form, formless, the sense realms, the human realms, the heavenly realms, the realms of the fighting beings, the asuras, the animal realms, the hungry ghost realms of addiction, never being fulfilled, always craving, the hellish realms, no space, uninterrupted torment. All of the loka vidu, all these realms are embraced with the Buddha. As humans, we traverse these realms, but as we practice the Dharma, little by little by little, and remembering these qualities of the Buddha helps us free ourselves from that fear, deepen our quality of presence. And this next one, oh, I love this next one. Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarati. Anuttaro means unsurpassed. Purisa is person. Dhammasarati is that which tames the wild. The Buddha is the unexcelled charioteer. He can help tame living beings so that craziness is purified. The Buddha had this capacity. What a wonderful quality to whatever situation he was in, whatever person he was in front of, he would intuit what just that person needs. That's part of full awakening. As we deepen our trust in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, little by little, we're allowing this Anuttara Purisa Dhammasarati to respond as we're trusting the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, letting ourselves respond truly to what is needed. Sattadeva Manusanang. The Buddha was able to, back on the other one, tame the most difficult and obstinate people, even a serial killer. Angulimala, the Buddha, with his Anuttara Parisa Dhammasarati and his compassion, turned him so that this being could remember his true heart, his true nature. And Angulimala became a healer, one of the great enlightened disciples. Sattadeva Manusanam, the Buddha is a teacher. Of devas and humans, points out what is harmful and what is beneficial. How fortunate we are to have these teachings of the Dharma that remind us that always, Sandittika, here and now, the true nature is always here, timeless, ever inviting us to be realized by each one of us. So remembering the Buddha, remembering this incredible Dhamma that was Savakato Bhagavatatamo, that was well expressed by the Buddha. This is important. Buddho. Buddho, quality just means the awakened one. It's one of my favorite words in meditation. I use my two favorite mantras in deeper meditation is just Buddho, the awakened one, or Kuan Yin's name, who's a Buddha. Those sacred words just remind one to relax, trust, and surrender to that deep wakefulness. Buddho, Kuan Yin, and relax. And for a moment I bathe, rest in the wholeness, the deep safety, the perfection of our true home. Bhagava, back to the Blessed One. And the one that's not in this list, but the first one, the Tathagata. That perfect balance of the coming and the going and the stillness. Tata means unmoving, unshakable. Agata, gata, tathagata, the movement within the stillness within the movement. Dear friends, in these perilous times, let us remember the Buddha that's ever present, timeless, ever responsive. Allow these qualities to take root in our heart. I really encourage us, if we haven't already done it, memorize this chant. Cherish that lifetime after lifetime. We cannot just get lost in seeking fame or seeking wealth. We can remember the liberating qualities, because people that even get successful can then forget their humanity. To me, it's shocking when someone who's the richest person in the world can seem to take delight in inflicting harm on the poorest. What is wrong with us? They've forgotten the Buddha. Wealth comes and goes. Let's remember, cherish the awakened one, where there's the perfect balance of wisdom and compassion and freedom that leaves no one behind, that welcomes everyone. So thank you for being with me this morning. Every day, so grateful to have encountered the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, deepening my everyday resolve to stay close so that we can discover our fearlessness and out of compassion show up in ways that help one another, help our community, help our ancestors, and help us wake out of this dream, because I've not given up. I do deeply believe these forces of harm can be swept aside, and the new story of decency, wise reflection, sharing can more and more take root in our world. So thank you. And there still is a little time in case anybody has any thoughts you'd like to share, or question, or reflection. I definitely don't have all the answers, but I'm committed to keep working. So if you do have something, you can raise your hand. Okay, so I see Austin, please. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you so much. Such a powerful teaching, and I will try to commit the chant to memory as you invited us to today. I had a question about one of the qualities and why it's a quality. I just lost the chant book on my screen, but it was about the knower of the realms.
Oh,
Of
yes. Yeah. Loka Vidu.
yeah, could you just talk a little bit about why that, from a Noble Eightfold Path right view, why is the knowing of the realms one of the qualities incorporated here? Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Austin. It's lovely to hear your voice, and I rejoice in your commitment to keep cultivating this path. Lokavidu is very important because when we aren't the Lokavidu, we get identified with and lost in the different realms. Like, for example, the let's say the hungry ghost realm, the preta realm, these addictive realms where we're always imagining that what we really need is out there, but we never get there. I mean, we can all relate to this just in terms of some of our own addictions. When we're not the knower of the world, we're just born into that world. That is all of me. So the Lokavidu that can start to, for example, in that particular, when I find myself in that state, and if I'm in something obsessive like that, and I can know that that ghost, that pull of I've got to click on this, or I've got to have that, or I have to, whether it's for a drug or alcohol or some kind of sensation, So for a moment, I try to breathe and notice that that one of the elements that sustains that realm is that obsessive craving. And to be able to know that that craving is also appearing. It's appearing within the knower. It's appearing within the Buddha, within the uh, so then we start to not reject those realms, but permeate those realms. For example, the heavenly realm. Sometimes when we aren't the knower of the heavenly realm, we think, what's the problem? Everything's going our way, and there's harmony, and the colors in the sky are amazing, and there's a field of appreciation, and it's beautiful, and it's not evil to rejoice in that. It's natural. But if we're not really a knower of the heavenly realm, then we haven't seen that even the heavenly realms are ephemeral, are impermanent. So then when something happens, which these realms are so fragile, something with our heart, something with our beloved one gets sick, something in Mother Nature that was unexpected happens, and that trusting in the solidity of that is gone. We weren't the knower of heaven. So the knower of the realm is what of the worlds helps, and it's true of all those different realms. It's also true of the samadhi realms. The Buddha is knower of like the rupa. There's the world of the sense world, the rupa world, and the formless world. In your deep meditations, when that feeling when we get a bit more peaceful, like in my early years in meditation, that's just where I wanted to be. I knew it, but I also, to me, that world was just where I'm going. But I still needed to learn more about even those states of samadhi, states of calm, are also ephemeral. So the loka vidu even knows those peaceful meditation states are impermanent. When we are the knower of the worlds and can see the changing anicca, dukkha, not self nature of those, then we start touching into that what's called transcends the world. It's not going somewhere else, but it's touching into that which is envelops all the worlds but never dies. So that's an excellent question. But loka vidu is right up there as a really wondrous quality. I hope that was helpful. Thank you. Yes, one of the most wonderful gateways into the loka vidu is a question. It's just we can, when I'm discouraged and I'm lost in the realm of it's just too much. It's too much. It just even asks the question, what is it? What? We just assume it's solid. It's me. It's just even a little what. That word appears and dissolves. And it's a bit like a windshield wiper in a rainstorm. The windshield wiper goes for a moment and clears so you can see for a moment. What props up all these worlds is thoughts that haven't been investigated. But a what allows us to, for a moment, let go of any judgment and allow the heart to revisit, touch. That helps us know the worlds, not just get bound up by them. Yes, let me see. What is it? Is it Sarah or Sarah? Please.
Sarah.
Sarah, hi.
Hi. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for your presence. I only wish to say I really appreciated your question. Can we relax in the moment with not knowing? That was a balm to my troubled soul this morning. So I thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. Yeah. Yeah. I'm giving myself that Dhamma talk too. It sounds like I'm giving a Dhamma talk, but I'm also allowing the Dhamma to talk to me, because the uncertainty, the unknown, and a lot of times we just cling to this view, that view, but that's why the letting the thought, that's why our sacred words are so precious, like Bhutto or Kuan Yin, or even a question, what's here? When that thought ends, for a moment when there's no thought, we're not knowing this or that as a view, but we're resting in the wordless, intimate connection to this mystery. And we deepen our trust in not knowing a particular view, not knowing a particular outcome. We learn to enter that portal by allowing the heart to be comfortable between the thoughts. Or we allow a thought like a quality of the Buddha, like the Loka Vidu or the Sugato, allow that word to touch the heart, and then as it goes silent, we rest into the source of these qualities, which is this deep, silent, ever-present awareness. And from there, all these qualities appear. That heart that's for a moment silent is not dividing me and you here and there, tomorrow and yesterday. That heart has within it everything, everyone. And from that deep heart then can emerge the presence, the blessing, the response that is most efficacious for ensuring that there is a turning away from harm, a returning to the sacred, to empathy, to joy that is not built on someone else's harm, a joy that is inherent. Thank you all for showing up. You've encouraged me to keep deepening in my own practice. Blessings. I feel the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and Dhamma protectors rejoicing in our efforts.